You can plead guilty, you can plead not guilty, and you probably can plead no contest or nolo contendere. There are some advantages to a nolo plea in some contexts. If you are charged with a moving offense, such as speeding, failure to yield, running a red light, failure to stop at a stop sign, or other types of moving traffic offenses, those are normally the types of offenses that you can receive points for on your driving history. The court has to report a guilty or nolo disposition on all traffic cases to the Department of Driver Services, and then it is up to them how to treat that disposition pursuant to law. The court, except in rare circumstance, cannot tell them not to assess points. But a nolo plea often saves you from points. It does depend on the type of charge, perhaps the type of license you have. It may depend on your age, and it does depend on your prior driving history. If you wish to tender a nolo plea, though, for any moving offense, then we're happy to consider accepting that, with no guarantee about what that means to your driving history. The other context in which we, in which a nolo might benefit you is if you were involved in an accident involving property damage to someone else's vehicle or other property or someone else's person, and you are disputing with the other person whose fault the accident was, then a nolo disposition cannot be used against you in any civil claim arising out of that accident. Now, we're not here on these traffic cases to determine whose fault an accident is. It may be that you did commit the traffic offense that you're charged with, but you're not totally at fault or at fault at all for the accident. And I mention that because often we end up trying these traffic tickets involving accidents because folks confuse what the issue is on the traffic case. The issue on the traffic case is whether or not you committed the traffic infraction that you're charged with, as opposed to whose fault the accident was. If you do plead not guilty, then you will not have your trial today. This is an arraignment. If you plead not guilty, you'll be coming back to court in May for your trial. Those trials are going to be on May the 16th at 3 p.m. And they will either be on Zoom or in person if you prefer to appear in person in courtroom 303. All right, I did see a couple of cases where there were attorneys hired. Is Attorney Wester present with Bilquis Ahmed? I think a PIA may have been sent to them, so it may just have not made its way back yet. So I guess we'll wait for that to come back. Attorney Roberts Williams, you're here with Sharif Brown.
Yes, Judge.
Attorney Roberts
Yes.
Williams.
Yes, can you hear me, Judge?
I do now hear
Yeah.
you. So he had paid a cash bond, but does he want to resolve the case with a guilty or nolo plea or put it on a trial calendar?
We want to get it resolved today. I will just have a quick discussion with him, but one of those options, correct?
So who do you need to talk to? Your
I'll
client?
speak to Mr. Yes, I'll speak to Mr. Brown and come.
Is he on Zoom, you believe?
Yes, he is.
Oh.
He is. He is.
Brown,
Yes.
where are you? If you'll unmute and speak up.
I'm here.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you.
Madam Clerk, would you make me a co-host or make me the host so I can put them in a breakout space? Okay. All right, I got a bunch of iPhones on here. So, Mr. Brown, tell me if you get that. Do you have the invitation to go to the breakout room now?
No, ma'am, I don't see it.
Do you have it now?
No, I still don't see it.
Okay. Do you have it now?
No, ma'am.
Last one. Now do you have it?
No, I don't see it.
It should pop up on your screen. Oh, you know why? I did it wrong. Try now. Do you have it now?
No, ma'am.
I have it, Judge. Attorney Mulder.
He's just signed on his iPhone. I have 4 people, so I'm trying to figure out which one is him. Just gonna put everybody in the breakout room. If you're not Mr. Brown, don't go though.
I see it now.
Okay. All right, y'all go ahead.
Thank you.
I have any other attorneys present on behalf of a defendant?
Yes, Your Honor. Latasha Heflin on behalf of Timmy Johnston.
Okay.
And good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. And what's your client's first name?
Timmy. He was an add-on, Your Honor, that was added on Wednesday.
I've got him. Is it Johnston?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Have you a negotiated disposition yet on the case?
No, Your Honor. At this moment, Mr. Johnston would like to enter a not guilty plea and be set for your trial calendar on May 16th.
This may not be my case, actually. I said these were all going to be on May 16th, but
I think it originally is a Judge Garrett. I'm sorry.
If it belongs to another judge, it won't be on that date. So let me pull it up and see.
Thank you, Your Honor.
No, these are Judge Garrett. So
Yeah.
I have no idea when he's going to do stuff.
Okay.
Someday you'll get a notice to appear in his court.
Yes, Your Honor. And
He's not scheduling these right now, as far as I know. So I don't have a clue when he's going to do things.
Okay, Your Honor. We have another issue, Your Honor. Mr. Johnson has a failure to appear. He had 2 prior notices. However, he had failed to change his address with the clerk. So he did not receive those notices, and as a result, he was unable to show up for his original arraignment. We're asking Your Honor to lift the failure to appear. Mr. Johnson is present today via Zoom. He did receive notice from the DDS that his license will be suspended if it wasn't resolved by April the 7th. So we're asking failure to appear to be lifted and a release be sent to DDS so that his license will not be suspended on April 7th.
What we generally require in these situations, Ms. Heflin, is that the person post a cash bond to assure their appearance in court.
Yes, ma'am.
So if he will post that cash bond online, then that failure to appear will be lifted.
Well, is there a link, Your Honor, for him to? Okay.
Yeah, just on the clerk of the state court website should have a cash bond still attached to both cases, I believe.
Okay, Your Honor. Thank you so much.
All right.
Have a nice day.
Thank you.
That is, it concludes my business. May we be excused?
Yes.
Thank you.
Your Honor, Jacqueline Isabel for Vernon Finch.
Okay. Well, Mr. Finch has quite a lot of tickets here. Looks like there's 4 tickets from, well, there's really another one too. So there's 4 on the calendar today from 3 different dates.
Yes, Your Honor.
And then there is another case
That's
that's
coming up in,
scheduled for April, but there's no reason to separate all that into another calendar. So there's, looks like 5 tickets. that you've
yes,
got
Your Honor.
here.
And I just recently became his attorney, so we will plead not guilty, but I'm hoping to go ahead and speak with the prosecutor to negotiate a plea.
Well, prosecutor's present today. Rather than putting it off, why don't we talk about it? So it's an improper lane change ticket from May 18th. What's the state's request on a fine there if he wants to resolve it?
Your Honor, that will be a $50 fine.
And does Mr. Finch have a valid tag now on his vehicle?
Your Honor, that was actually a rental vehicle, so
Bro,
he no longer has the rental. So the vehicle that he drives now, yes.
Okay. And so is this
It was the same vehicle because I think the tickets happened like
one day
after.
apart? Yeah.
Yeah. So
So-
he turned in the vehicle. So,
Right. Right, got it. So what about this traffic control device violation recommendation from the state?
Your Honor, that'll be a $50 fine.
Are you willing to dismiss the 2 tag things today if he wants to resolve the cases?
Yes, Your Honor.
And then he has a following 2 closed from December 21st. What's the recommendation for that?
Your Honor, that will be a $50 fine.
$50. Okay. Is it?
He can plead nolo. Obviously, Miss Isabel, the problem is that there's 3 moving violations. So he's probably going to get points for at least 2 of them, maybe all 3, depending on his driving record. But he's asking, and this is what we're typically doing right now, is $50 as a fine for each of the moving violations with surcharges. That's $73.25. Your client can have time to pay it if he needs time to pay it.
Okay, so there's no way to reduce the points.
I don't
No.
know how you could on these types of moving offenses because it's not something that he can adjust speed on or something along those lines. You know what I mean?
I understand.
So,
Is it possible I can go in the breakout room and just speak to my client really quick?
okay. Mr. Finch, how are you signed on?
You gotta unmute.
Oh, I see. Where it says Shayla?
Yes.
Okay,
Good morning. Can you hear me now, Yana? Good morning.
I do.
How you doing?
All right. You'll see an invitation to go to a breakout space pop up hopefully on your screen. If you'll accept that, Miss Isabel's going to talk to you privately about these options.
Okay, so just press join breakout room.
Yep.
Yes, ma'am. All right, thank you.
Miss Isabel, how do I have you on here? Okay. There you go.
Mine didn't pop up.
Oh, because I'm put the wrong person in there. Miss Poindexter, don't go to the breakout room. There you go.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right, Ms. Roberts Williams, you're back.
Yes, Judge. I did have a question for you. So I have spoken to Mr. Brown. On this case, I was trying to see if it would be possible to get this one reduced to a basic law violation.
Hello?
This incident.
Everybody make sure you're muted unless I'm speaking to you. Okay.
I don't know how to move.
Was the prosecutor willing to do that?
Take a look at Mr. Brown's
The
case.
following 2 close. Is it an accident case, Miss Roberts Williams?
Yes, Judge.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Folks, everybody make sure you're on mute unless I'm talking to you.
Okay. The state is not willing to reduce it to a basic rules violation, Your Honor.
Well, we'll proceed to move forward. Mr. Brown's going to plead guilty to this.
All right.
All right. That'll be a $50 fine.
I'm gonna quit on this phone, bro.
Sorry, Mr. Tipton.
Your Honor, the state recommends a $50 fine.
I believe that Mr. Brown has already paid a fine. Could you just double check if that's the case?
He did.
Oh, I see. Yes, he did.
Let me find him on my calendar so I can enter that disposition. Okay, so I have entered that disposition and indicated on the disposition that the fine is to be paid by the cash bond that he previously posted. Would you like a copy of the disposition sent to you, Ms. Roberts-Williams?
Yes, please, Judge.
Would you put your email in the chat area so that the clerk can see that to send that to you?
Yes, I'll do that.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. After you've done that, you can be excused, and Mr. Brown, you can be excused.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Good morning, your Judge Cohen. You were asking for other attorneys. I want to jump in if I could when you're ready.
Hi, Attorney Weems. Who do you represent?
Here for Sherelle Allen, Judge. Because a tag violation.
Just gonna try to find the person. What's their name again?
First name Sherrill, Sherrill. Last name Allen, traditional spelling, Judge.
I've got her. All right. And is the tag now valid on the vehicle that she was allegedly driving on the date of this ticket?
Correct, Your Honor. No, I think it was under 40-2-8.
You said what?
I muted
Sorry.
the person who's
Sorry, Judge.
talking to us.
Yes, ma'am. I think it was under 40-2-8. It was not valid on the time. She has since remedied that matter. It wasn't her car, but it's been since remedied.
Okay. Does the state have a motion then?
Yes, Your Honor, the state moves to dismiss.
Thank you. No objection, Judge.
Right. I'm entering that right now. Do you need a copy for any purpose, Mr. Williams?
If the court would, I would appreciate it just for my files, Your Honor.
Okay. Would you put your email in the chat area so the clerk has it to send that to you?
Yes, ma'am. Just to chat it to everyone, Judge. It's okay.
Yeah, I don't know how she signed on. I guess
Okay.
she signed on to State Court Traffic Division if you want to send it just to her.
Okay. No worries. All right. Thank you,
All
Judge.
right.
That concludes my business before the court, Your Honor. May I be excused?
You may, and Miss Allen may be excused.
Thank you. Good to see you, Judge.
Excuse me, Judge Cohen.
Yes.
I was having trouble logging onto the Zoom meeting, and I'm not sure if you might have called my name
I
or
have not.
not.
I have not
Okay.
called any names.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Do I have any other attorneys hired by defendants present today? All right, I am going to start calling names then to see who is present. Is Marquise Abdullah present? Unmute and tell me you're here when I call your name if you're present. Devondria Arnold. Fatwamata Ba.
Yes, I'm here.
All right. Ms. Ba, you have from February 11th of 2021, a tag offense ticket and running a red light or some other traffic control device. Mr. Tipton, do you have a recommendation to make or questions to ask of her?
Yes, Your Honor. And Your Honor, I apologize. Was that a tag violation?
Ms. Baugh is a tag ticket and a traffic control device violation.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Baugh, have you, does the vehicle that you were pulled over in, does it currently have a valid tag on it?
Yes, it does.
Thank you, Ms. Baugh. Your Honor, the state will be dismissing the tag violation and would like to move forward with a $50 fine on the traffic control device violation.
Do you want to resolve that other ticket for the traffic control device violation with a guilty or no plea today, ma'am?
I'm not guilty, ma'am.
All right. My computer's stuck, but as soon as it's unfrozen, I'll tell you what's going to happen next. Well, one ticket can't be dismissed today and the other one put on a trial calendar. So both the tickets will be placed on a trial calendar on May the 16th at 3 o'clock. If your address changes, you have to make sure the clerk of our court is aware of that because they'll send you notice for that court date. And if you don't receive it and you didn't write it down today, then you won't appear and that'll be a problem. May 16th at 3 o'clock for trial on both tickets. Any questions?
No, ma'am.
All right, I'll see you then.
Thank you.
Is Michael Banks present? Roosevelt Barner?
I'm across your phone.
Christopher Bell? Reginald Bell? Alexander Bibbs Moore? Shanique or Shanique Blake? Marquise Bridgman? Gerald Brown? Latanya Brown?
Latanya Brown.
Turn on your video, please, Miss Brown.
Oh, okay.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Ms. Brown, you have tickets for expired license, improper display of a tag, and invalid tag. These are from November of 2020, it looks like.
I ended up getting my license.
You do have a valid license
Reinstated.
now?
Yes, I got a valid license now. The vehicle I was driving ended up getting a tag. It ended up getting a tag for it, but I no longer had that car anymore. But it did end up getting a tag. My husband, he had a case over here in Atlanta for the same vehicle, and they pretty much, because he got another tag, pretty much got a tag and registered and all of that, they threw the ticket on out or whatever. So.
Okay. Mr. Tipton, do you have any questions of her then about those tickets?
No, Your Honor. Since she has remedied the situation, the state will dismiss the cases. We'll move to dismiss.
All right, Ms. Brown, I'll go ahead and dismiss all 3 tickets. If you ever need a copy of the dismissal, You can get that from the clerk of our court.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. Was that, I heard 2 tickets. I saw 2
There's a
tickets.
third one it's the third one that missed the calendar but was issued on the same day. It's a tag ticket.
Oh, I see, Your Honor. My apologies.
It's all right. All right, Ms. Brown. If you ever need
Okay.
a copy of the dismissals, you can get it from our clerk. Do you have any questions?
No, I do not. Thank y'all.
All right. All right, bye now.
Bye-bye.
Is Ronald Brown present? Is Jamila Burton present? Mirna Calderon Blanco? Austin Callender or Calendar? Marcus Campbell?
Do you know when you're listing your current property percent?
Well, they told us not to list it too quickly.
Ms. Isabel, do you have an announcement on the
Yeah.
person we're in the breakout room with?
Yes, ma'am. What he's gonna go ahead and plead guilty to those 3 violations.
I'm sorry, y'all, I forgot his name already. What's the?
Oh,
what's the last
I'm
name?
sorry. Vernon Finch.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so he's going to enter a guilty or no-low plea to those moving violations.
He has guilty. He'll plead guilty to this one.
Okay,
These.
so Mr. Finch, then you have $50 fines for each of those, but with surcharges.
I think you said 73.75.
325 times 3. Can you pay all that to our clerk within a month, Mr. Finch?
How much is that total, Your Honor?
$73.25 times 3.
I got it, Your Honor.
Don't ask me to do math. That's a disaster every time.
It's $219.75.
Sure. By what date you said it, Your Honor?
A month from now, by April the 29th.
Sure.
Okay. Would you provide your email address to us, Mr. Finch?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor. Finch Finch.Vernon VERNON at yahoo.com.
All right.
So in essence, it's my last name, my first name at yahoo.com.
Okay. Do you want copies of the dispositions as well, Miss Isabel?
Yes, Your Honor. And Your Honor, you said that it wouldn't matter if he did no low, he would still get the points, correct?
Well, he might not. I don't have his driving record in front of me. We don't run those because we have such large calendars. He
Yes,
might
ma'am.
not get points if he did a NOLO as to one of them.
Okay.
If he doesn't have other moving violations within, the 5-year period.
Right.
You want to do a NOLO on one of them and try that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Tell me which one you want to do NOLO.
We could do it on the traffic. Let me see. I'm sorry.
So improper lane change, red
yes.
light, or falling too close?
The improper lane change.
Okay. And you would put your email, Miss Isabel, in the chat to the state court traffic clerk so she can email you the dispositions also. Mr. Finch, in your email, you'll get a copy of the dispositions as well as the payment instruction information. And the payment instruction information will show the due date by April the 25th. I don't know why I said 29th, a month from now.
Yes,
And
Your
you
Honor.
can pay it online or you can pay it in person, and the instructions about how to do that will be on the paperwork.
Yes, Your Honor.
I presume we have your correct address since you got the notice to appear for today.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Any questions, Mr. Finch?
No, Your Honor, I'm
All
clear.
right. And the tag tickets we will be dismissing on the state's motion. Anything further, Ms. Isabel?
No, Your Honor, this concludes our business for the day. May we be excused?
Yes. Y'all take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can she hear me? I don't know.
Computer is slow as molasses today. Let me just go back and make sure. Is anybody on the Zoom meeting whose last name begins with A or B?
V, Vasquez, Vivian.
B as in boy.
No, V like in victory.
Ma'am, I hear you. I'm not on the V's yet. I'm asking if anybody whose last name begins with A or B is present.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. All right. In the middle of the C's, I think, is Marcus Campbell present? Aria Carricker?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Where are you, Miss Carricker? Oh, I see. Turn on your video, please, ma'am. Ma'am, you have from January 24th tickets for a tag violation, a seatbelt violation, and failing to signal before turning or stopping.
So I'm in court. This is my first time doing it.
Mr. Tipton, do you have questions of Ms. Carricker?
Ms. Carricker, does your vehicle currently have a valid tag on it?
Yes, it does.
Thank you. Your Honor, the state would move to dismiss the tag violation, and the state would recommend a $50 fine on the seatbelt and a $50 fine on the, excuse me, a $15 fine on the seatbelt and a $50 fine on failure to signal.
Do you want to resolve the cases today with a guilty or no low plea to the seatbelt and failure to signal tickets, ma'am?
I plead guilty.
All right. Ms. Carricker, I'll dismiss the tag ticket. It's $15 on the seatbelt plus surcharges and $50 plus surcharges on the other. I think the total is going to be somewhere a little less than $100. Can you pay that by April the 25th?
Yes.
Would you please either tell us or put your email information into the chat area so we can email you the payment instructions?
He said, put it.
Do you know how to use the chat thing?
Okay, I'm doing it. Okay, I sent it.
All right, we see it. You'll get an email then a little bit later on this morning that from an address at claytoncountyga.gov with those payment instructions on how to pay all of that on or before April 25th, either in person or online. Do you have any questions?
No, I don't.
It'll have the exact amount. It should be a little bit less than 100, as I've said. The only other thing I need to do is make sure we have your correct address. Do we have, is you got the notice for today, so we must have a proper address for you?
Yes.
All right. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
All right, you can sign off. Is Demaji, I may be saying that wrong, Carter present? Desiree Carter? Jamal Cleveland? Brianna Cole? Derek Coleman? Larry Connor? Mr. Connor, I see that you're present on Zoom. You need to unmute. There you go.
Yeah.
You from January 22nd of 2020 had a tag violation. Has the tag issue on that vehicle been corrected now?
Yes, Your Honor, it has.
Mr. Tipton?
Your Honor, the state moves to dismiss.
All right, we'll dismiss it. Mr. Connor, if you ever need a copy, you can get it from our clerk of that dismissal. Any questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right, take care, sir. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Kevin Conover. Ricardo Cornwall. Trenton Crockett. Anybody whose last, oh, where are you, Mr. Crockett?
I'm trying to get my camera to cut on. I
Okay.
apologize.
We can just talk to you, Mr. Crockett. These are what I call status offenses. It's a tag ticket and license not on person. Mr. Tipton, do you have questions of him about those?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Crockett, did you get your tag fixed? Mr. Crockett?
Mr. Crockett, can you hear us? Oh dear. I think he disconnected his audio when he was trying to connect his video, but I'm not sure. Mr. Crockett, can you hear us? If so, if you can't, for some reason, if we can't hear you, I guess you could type your responses in the chat area.
I
Oh, there you
apologize.
are. Okay. Did you get the tag problem corrected, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you have other questions about the other ticket, Mr. Tipton?
Mr. Crockett, I just want to confirm you do have a valid driver's license, correct?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Your Honor, the state will move to dismiss both tickets.
Mr. Crockett, I'll grant his motion to dismiss those tickets. If you need copies of that disposition from our clerk, you can get those from the clerk of the state court. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
All right. Bye now.
All right.
Anybody whose last name begins with C as in cat that I have not spoken with? Barrington Darby Dane? Or Dane Darby, maybe? Maybe. Here you are, Mr. Darby. I was trying to make your first name part of your last name. You have just 2 tickets from December of 2020 for tag and expired license. You have questions of him about those tickets, Mr. Tipton?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Darby, how are you doing today, sir? Do you have a valid tag on your car now?
Yes, I do.
All right. And did you get your license issue resolved as well?
Yes, on 12/30/2020.
Thank you. Your Honor, the state would move to dismiss both counts.
All right, I'll grant his motion to dismiss those tickets, Mr. Darby. If you need copies of the dismissal at any point, you can get them from the clerk of the state court. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
All right, you can sign off. Bye now.
All right, have a good one.
Thanks. Monique Denson. Santos. Oh, sorry, Miss Denson. All right, Ms. Denson, you have 4 tickets from December of 2020, a tag violation, brake lights not working, improper display of tag, and improper lane change. Mr. Tipton, do you have questions of her about the tag and brake light stuff?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Stenson, did you fix the issue with your tags? Is it currently valid?
Yes, my tag is valid. My brake light is fixed. And the display of the tag, it was just the decorative little thing that you put around the tag.
Is that still on the
I
car?
took
Or
it
has
off.
it been?
No, I took it off. Yeah.
Your Honor, the state would move to dismiss the tag violations, including the display of the tag. The state would move to dismiss the brake light violation, and the state would recommend a $50 tag on the remaining charge, the improper lane change.
$50 fine plus surcharges.
Yes, Your Honor.
To resolve that.
Yes,
Ms.
Your Honor.
Jensen, do you want to plead guilty or no load to improper lane change?
I really don't recall improper lane change. I was confused on that ticket. So
do you have the ticket in front of you there?
I'm sorry.
Do you have your ticket still?
No, I don't.
Right.
I've since then moved, so I don't even know where it could be,
Right.
but
I'll try to take a look at it here for you.
okay.
That's not you. All right. So it was on Garden Ridge Drive near Boston Common on December 9th, 2020. Sheriff's Department deputy contends he saw you make an improper lane change. There's no accident involved. So I presume the allegation, if he were to appear for trial, would be something along the lines of he saw you move out of your lane, even for some short period of time, and move back into it. But I wouldn't know because obviously he's not here and he didn't write any notes on the ticket. NOLO would keep you from having points on it.
Well, I can do NOLO.
All right. Can you pay the $73.25 by April 25th then on that ticket?
Yes, ma'am, I can.
Would you either tell us or type in your email address so the clerk can email you the payment instruction information?
Yes,
and also
ma'am.
your current address we'll need.
Okay.
Okay, got your email. Just type in your address. Oh, great. Well, here it comes, huh?
Hold on.
Perfect. We see it. All right. Look for an email from an address at claytoncountyga.gov this morning. Ms. Stinson, after we're done with court, she'll get those out to everybody. Check your junk or spam folder if you don't see it, because sometimes because it comes from a government address, it heads in that direction on your email. Any questions?
Okay. No, ma'am. Thank you.
All right. Everything else was dismissed. I think the amount due is going to be set around $80. It may be a little less than that, or it may be a little bit more than that, but it shouldn't be more than 85. Okay.
Thanks.
All right. Bye now.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Chrysanthus Drophy. Jeffrey Dunning. Elijah Earnhardt. William Elijah. Christopher Farmer.
Right here, ma'am.
Mr. Farmer, you had 2 tickets. Mr. Tipton, the tag one made it on the calendar, but he also had license not on person. Do you have questions of him about those?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Farmer, do you currently have a valid tag on your vehicle?
Correct. I got that same day.
All right, thank you, sir. Your Honor, the state's going to move to dismiss both counts.
Mr. Farmer, I'll grant his motion to dismiss those. If you need a copy of those dismissals, then you can get those from the clerk of the court. Do you have clerk of the state court? Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am, that's it.
All right, bye, Mr. Farmer.
Cool.
Jonathan Forrester present. Janae Francis.
I'm here.
Ms. Francis, you had 2 tickets from January of 2021, a tag violation and failing to yield the right of way. Do you have questions of her, Mr. Finch?
Your Honor, I'll ask Ms. Francis. Ms. Francis, do you currently have a valid tag on your car?
I do, but I no longer have that car. Well, I did after the situation, but I no longer have it.
All right. And do you have a vehicle currently?
No, I do not.
Thank you. Your Honor, the state would move to dismiss the tag violation and would recommend a $50 fine on the failure to yield.
Do you want to plead guilty or nolo on failing to yield, Ms. Francis? It'd be $73.25, I believe, with surcharges, if you would like to do that.
I'm sorry, may you repeat that? Are you saying that if I plead guilty, it would be a $73 charge? Would I gain any points on my license?
Well, you could try entering the nolo plea instead, which may save you from points, but that depends on your driving history.
Well, I would like to plead guilty.
Okay.
Wait, if I plead, I'm sorry.
Nolo, if you don't have other moving violations within a 5-year period, then nolo might save you from points. You want to try that?
Yes.
Okay. Can you pay the $73.25? I hope that's what it is. Sometimes randomly it's $83.25. I hadn't figured out why that is, but it's going to be around that number by April 25th.
Okay, and if I were to plead not guilty, would I just only have the $50 charge?
No, if you plead not guilty, both tickets will go on a trial calendar for trial.
Oh, okay, I'll plead guilty.
Okay, did you want to do nolo on failure to yield though? So maybe you save yourself from points?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So can you pay that approximately $80? It will either be a little bit less or a little bit more than that by April 25th?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
Would you type in or tell us your email so we can email you the payment instruction information?
Okay, and would you like me to direct my email to just you, or do you want me to type it to everyone in the chat?
I want to direct it and not put it in the general chat. It's to the state court traffic clerk.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to go ahead and type it right now.
All right, and the other ticket is being dismissed. So once you have your email in there, you can sign off.
All right, may I be excused?
Yep.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you. Reginald Gaither present. Roderick Garr. Sammy Gilstrap. I think looking at that case, Mr. Tipton, looks like we null-priced a companion ticket in January for a tag and then somehow missed this one. And this is another sort of status offense. For no taillights. Do we want to assume that somehow I just missed that and dismiss that one too? Or what do you want to do?
Your Honor, I think we should go ahead and assume that we need to dismiss it. No reason to clog up the court's calendar.
You know, I think probably we meant to dismiss both of them, and I just failed to enter it, as sometimes happens. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. John Tavius Glenn.
I'm here.
Mr. Glenn, you have 3 tickets from February of 2021, speeding, license not on person, and tag. Mr. Tipton, do you have questions of Mr. Glenn about this license and tag tickets?
Mr. Glenn, do you have a valid tag on your car currently?
I do.
All right. And Mr. Glenn, you currently have a valid driver's license, correct?
I do.
All right. Your Honor, the state moves to dismiss the license and tag ticket and would move forward on a $100 fine on the speeding ticket.
Do you want to plead guilty or no for Mr. Glenn?
Not guilty.
Looking at
Not
about
guilty.
150 with surcharges?
No, not guilty.
All right. Well, all 3 tickets then will go on the trial calendar for May the 16th at 3 o'clock. Do you still live on Brookside Lane in Jonesboro, sir?
Correct.
All right, so you'll get a notice in the mail, but it will be May the 16th at 3 o'clock, either on Zoom or in person. I'll see you then.
You say on 16th?
May 16th at 3 o'clock.
Can it be okay, you said May. Okay, thank you.
No, we don't set court dates around other people's schedules. Imagine if we tried to do that, Mr. Glenn. I got hundreds and hundreds of cases.
No, actually, that day
You got to bend
next
around
month,
my
I have another
schedule.
court date. Yeah, I know. But today I had like 2 court dates, and it was like, I don't know how I would have did it.
Mr. Glenn?
Okay,
Mr. Glenn,
got it.
I have one, Your Honor, I'm sorry. I just noticed one thing about Mr. Glenn's ticket, and I wanted to change one thing about it, one thing about the state's offer. Mr. Glenn, the state is willing to reduce the speed of your ticket from 85 to 83 if you're willing to plead guilty today. That would keep you from having to pay the super speeder fine.
Do I have get any points or anything on my license?
That's up to DDS, sir. But that would
It's a
prevent.
moving offense on the speeding. If you do plead guilty even to the reduced speed, it would still result in some points, Mr. Glenn. But if you're found guilty of the speed alleged on the ticket, it's apparently a super speeder ticket. So in addition to, if you're found guilty, in addition to whatever fine I might impose, then DDS will also assess a super speeder penalty.
Oh, okay. Because I just don't want to plead guilty to that speeding ticket when I know I was going with the flow of traffic. And you know, if it don't put no points on my license, I mean, I'm going to plead NOLO and pay the fine.
Oh,
if I know for sure.
Plead NOLO, I don't guarantee about whether or not it will result in points. That depends on your driving history.
Right. Okay. Well, I know I got a pretty good driving history, so I'll plead NOLO.
Are you still willing to reduce it at the NOLO?
Yes, Your Honor.
Tipton.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so let me regroup. So what is the speed that you're now alleging, Mr. Tipton?
83 miles per hour and a 65, Your Honor.
All right, so you're going to be owing around $80, Mr. Glenn, for that ticket on that NOLO plea by April the 25th. Would you tell us or type in your email address, please?
Okay.
Instruction info.
I'll type in my email. Check. I'm kind of new at this. I don't know what go in to type in a chat said.
Just tell us if you're comfortable with that.
I didn't know which one.
I get $60 for it.
And they're $338.
Are you typing it in, Mr. Glenn?
I'm looking to.
Just tell us. You can just tell us the email.
Okay, it's john20john@gmail.com.
It's John what?
John, that's JOHN, the number 20 john@gmail.com. And I typed it in also.
Oh, we see it now. Okay, great. So look for an email from an address at claytoncountyga.gov later on this morning. Check your spam if you don't get it by the end of the day, because sometimes because it's from a government address, your various email services send it to the spam folder, okay?
All right, thank
It'll tell you how to pay that online or in person by April 25th.
Okay.
Any questions?
No question.
All
I don't
right.
have any I don't have any points on my license, right?
It depends on your driving history, but assuming you have a good driving history, NOLO should save you from points.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right, bye now.
All right, bye.
James Goodman.
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
Mr. Goodman, you have 4 tickets from December of 2020, a tent violation, tag, decal, and improper display of tags. So, Mr. Tipton, you have questions of Mr. Goodman?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Goodman, did you remove the tag from the tent from your car?
Yes, sir.
All right. Mr. Goodman, do you currently have a good tag on that car?
Yes, sir.
How was the tag improperly displayed?
I had like a cover over it, like a tent cover.
Has that been? I'm sorry.
Yes,
has that
sir.
been-
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, the state moves to dismiss all 4 tickets.
Mr. Goodman, since you corrected all of that, then I'll grant his motion to dismiss all 4 tickets. If you need a copy of that dismissal for any purpose, you can get that from the clerk of the state court. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am, I don't.
All right, bye, Mr. Goodman.
Thanks.
Dondria Green.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Green, you had license not on person ticket from November of 2020, and Mr. Tipton, there's a tag ticket also that didn't make it to the calendar. You want to ask her questions about those tickets?
Yes, Your Honor. Excuse me. Ms. Green, and pardon me, my nose is a little stopped up.
You're fine.
Ms. Green, did you correct the tag issue on your car? Is it currently valid on your car?
Yes.
Thank you. Do you have a valid driver's license currently?
Yes.
Your Honor, the state moves to dismiss both tickets.
Right, I'll do that, Ms. Green. If you need copies of the dismissal, then you can get that from the clerk of the state court. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
All right, you can sign off.
Have a good one.
Thanks. Anybody I haven't spoken to whose last name begins with the letters A, B, C, D, E, F, or G?
Mine, Zanae Griffin.
Oh, and here you are writing my hand, Miss Griffin. Miss Griffin, from January of 2021, you had tickets for following too close, apparently relating to an accident and a tag violation. Let me ask about the tag first. Is that tag situation, whatever it was, been corrected now?
Yes, I actually have a new car.
Okay. And a recommendation then on the following too close, Mr. Tipton?
Your Honor, that's going to be a $50 fine.
Do you want to resolve that with a guilty or no low plea and pay around $80, Ms. Griffin?
Yeah, I could pay. You say I could do not guilty and pay $80?
Guilty or no low? If you plead not guilty, we'll put it on a trial calendar.
Oh, I could pay it, but is that going to give me points?
No low might save you from points. It does depend on your driving record.
Okay.
Try
yeah,
that.
I don't have a record.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So can you pay that amount? I think it's $73.25, but sometimes randomly, I don't know why it's $83.25, but one of those 2 amounts by April 25th.
I can do that.
All right. Would you either state or type in your email so the clerk can email you the payment instruction information?
Okay. You said to the clerk?
If you're going to do it directly to someone and not to the just everyone to state
Yeah.
court, state court
court.
traffic.
Okay. State court. And just my email.
Yep.
Okay.
Got it in there?
Yep, I sent it to the state court.
All right, so she's going to email you some payment instruction information about how to pay that by April 25th, either online or in person. And the exact amount will be on those payment instructions. We must have a correct address for you since you got the notice to come for court today, right?
Yes, I actually did.
All right, any questions?
No. So it would just, you said it was 2, right?
The tag thing is dismissed.
Okay, just pay this one, right? Oh, that's good. Thank you.
All right.
For $80, right?
It's about 80.
Okay, that's fine.
It's
Okay,
gonna be
thank you.
$73.25 or $83.25.
Okay, thank you so much, Judge.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Kenya Harden. Almeen Hazard. Tyrone Henderson. Derek.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, Mr. Henderson, you had decal, tag decal problem and a tent violation in February of 2021. You got a valid tag on your car now with a tag decal affixed and properly displayed? Mr.
Yeah,
Henderson?
everything that's I've fixed everything, but I no longer have the car.
Okay, and the tent was
The bin in
stripped
the
or
rack.
reduced, but now you still don't have, you don't have that car anymore.
Yeah,
anyway.
I took off the tint, all that stuff.
Okay, Mr. Tipton?
Your Honor, the state moves to dismiss both tickets.
Mr. Henderson, I'll dismiss those tickets. If you need a copy of that dismissal for any reason, you can get it from the clerk of the state court. Do you have any questions?
No, I don't.
All right, you can sign off, sir.
All right, thanks. Have a good day.
Thank you. Derek Hendricks present. Willis Hill. Bruce Horner. Charles Houston. Anton Hurst.
I'm here.
Mr. Hurst, you had 2 tickets. One of them didn't make it on the calendar, I think, Mr. Tipton, but that one that's not on the calendar is a tag violation, and then there was an improper or erratic lane change ticket. What's the recommendation if he wants to resolve his lane change ticket today with a guilty or no-low plea, Mr. Tipton?
Your Honor, that's going to be a $50 fine on the improper lane change. And may I inquire with Mr. Hurst as to whether he has corrected his tag issue? Mr. Hurst, have you corrected your tag issue?
I got a new car.
All right, does the new car have valid tags?
Yes.
Your Honor, the state would move to dismiss the tag ticket.
You want to resolve the other ticket with a guilty or no-low plea today, sir, and pay around $80?
Which one do I have?
Improper lane change.
No, I'm saying which one do I have available? Like which?
Well, you can plead no-low. We don't know whether that would save you from points because we don't have your driving history in front of us. But if you don't have other moving violations within the last 5 years, it might save you from some points.
That's fine. I can do no-low.
Can you pay that approximately $80 by April 25th? Mr. Hurst? Did I lose you? Mr. Hurst, are you still here? Mr. Hurst, are you still here?
Yes. You can't hear me?
I hear you now. Can you pay that about $80 by the April 25th?
Yes.
Would you type in your email address? Oh, you did already? Is that email is hurstad@me.com?
Yes.
Okay, great. So you'll get an email with the payment instructions about how to pay that online or in person by April 25th, and the other ticket will be dismissed. And we must have your correct address since you got the notice to come to court today. Is that right?
Yes.
Any questions? Any questions, Mr. Hurst?
No.
You can sign off. Stephen Jameson. Irvin Jefferson. Alan Johnson. Shamika Johnson.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Johnson, you had tag violation, headlights not working or maybe not on when they should have been, and license not on person, tickets December 2020. Is the tag problem being corrected?
Yes, ma'am. I talked to Chief Ty Walls yesterday, and he said he was gonna try to get it dismissed because that wasn't me that actually gave the officers my information.
Oh dear. Okay. Well, he's one of the investigators for the solicitor's office. I don't know if he's communicated to either of the prosecutors about that.
Okay. Because he told me to report, because he said for me to report my stuff stolen, because I thought when we moved out of Clayton County, because I'm in Fulton County, I thought when we moved, I just lost the stuff in the house.
Well, it may just be that we can resolve it without having to provide proof that it wasn't you. You have a car right now?
Yes, ma'am.
Does it have a good tag on it and all of its equipment works?
Yes, ma'am.
You have a valid driver's license?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Okay. Maybe that'll help us then without having to go through a whole rigmarole about whether it was you or not.
Yes, Your Honor, the state's going to dismiss all those charges.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
We'll go ahead and dismiss them, Ms. Johnson. If you ever need a copy of the dismissal, you can get it from the clerk of the court. Dismissals don't go on a driving record at all. So any questions?
No, ma'am. Thank you so much, Your Honor.
All right, bye. Xavier Johnson. James Jones.
I'm here.
Mr. Jones, you have 4 tickets from January of 2021, charged with taillight violation, brake light, some other defective equipment, and tag. So do you own that vehicle that you were apparently driving back on January 17th of 2021?
Yes, that's my son's mother vehicle, but I got everything fixed, the tail lights. And it was the windshield. They had a crack on the windshield. And everything's fixed up now.
Okay. And the tag is valid on that car?
Tag is valid, up to date. Yes, ma'am.
All right. Any other questions of him, Mr. Tipton?
No, Your Honor, the state will dismiss the tickets.
All right, Mr. Jones, we'll go ahead and dismiss those then. If you ever need a copy of the dismissal order, you can get it from our clerk. Any questions?
None at all. Thank you. Have a nice day.
All right, bye. Anani Kosigan. Azalea Lattimore. Evie LeBlanc. Brandon Leslie. Daniel Lopez.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
Yes.
My last name is King.
Are you Jose King?
No, Lance.
Okay. Let me see if I can find your case, sir.
Judge, he was added to the calendar today. I can give you his case number.
I think I can find him. Shouldn't be too many Lances in here. There's not. This one.
I'm
No.
special.
So this is the tag ticket
Correct.
from January of 2021, Mr. King. Do you have a valid tag now?
Actually, I returned the car to the dealer because they had a title issue.
Do you have a different car?
Yes.
It has a good tag on it,
Yes, it does.
Mr. Tipton?
Your Honor, the state would move to dismiss the ticket.
All right, I'll dismiss it then, Mr. King. If you need a copy of that order at any point, you can get it from our clerk. Any questions?
No.
All right, bye now.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Brandon Leslie present. Daniel Lopez. Kevin Love. Sean Lovings.
Yes, present.
Mr. Lovings, you have 3 tickets. Looks like 2 of them might be for the same behavior though, is speeding, but then also driving too fast for conditions and a tag violation. Do you have questions of him, Mr. Tipton?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Lovings, did you get
Yes,
the
sir.
did you get the tag did you get the tag issue resolved?
Yes, I have it, everything right here. Yes.
All right.
Great.
And okay, Your Honor, the state would move to dismiss the tag ticket, and it would be a $50 fine for each of the speeding charges.
Well, I mean, he can't be speeding twice at the same time.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm like, I didn't do that.
I don't know.
Can't really.
I know. Hang on, let him regroup and see and understand that that's, I don't know why the officer cited it in 2 different ways.
I see. Your Honor, it'll just be the $50, a single $50 fine for one of the speedings, and then the other one will be dismissed.
All right. So do you want to plead guilty or nolo to the speeding ticket and the too fast for conditions one, and the tag would be dismissed?
Nolo, please.
Okay. Can you pay the approximately $80, maybe a little bit less or a little bit more than that, to our clerk by April the 25th?
Yes, yes, Judge.
And would you tell us, or you can type in your email so we can email you the payment and instruction information.
All right, doing it now. Yes, ma'am, it's in the chat.
Great. Okay, so you'll get an email from the clerk. It'll be an address at claytoncountyga.gov that gives you that payment instruction information about how to pay it online or in person on or before April 25th. We must have a correct address for you, Mr. Lovings, since you got the notice to come today, right?
Yes, ma'am.
The other 2 tickets are dismissed. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am. Thank you very much.
All right, take
All
care.
right, have a good day. All right, you too.
Itoro Mbaba, Patrice McElroy, Jonathan Mensa, Martha Miller, Sanaya Moody, Enrique Morgan Alexander, Tremaine Murphy.
I'm Tremaine.
Ms. Murphy, you had driving too fast for conditions, improper lane change, and a tag violation, February of 2021. Is your tag problem, whatever it might have been corrected now? Miss Murphy? Do you have a good tag on your car?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Thanks. Does the state have a recommendation for one or both of the other tickets?
Yes, Your Honor. On the lane change violation, it would be a $50 fine. And on the too fast for conditions, that would also be a $50 fine.
Well, Ms. Murphy, do you want to resolve the case by pleading guilty or nolo to the moving violations and he'll dismiss the tag? Or do you want to plead not guilty to all 3 tickets?
Nolo.
Okay. So you're looking at it somewhere close to $150 probably in total. Can you pay that by April the 25th?
If I may, I had brought that beautiful car, and it was a lemon. I couldn't control the vehicle, and I was following the GPS telling me when to make the turn. I had my signal on to make the turn, but the way it was like a little off-street turn before the light, and I turned, but I don't have that car anymore.
Okay. Did this involve an accident with another car?
No, not at all.
Okay.
It was just raining outside, and I was trying to that Mercedes-Benz, the suspension on that car when he gave it to me, it didn't show in the dashboard right away, but eventually the vehicle wouldn't lift off the tires, and it kept going to the left. So anytime I drive the car, it was a problem. And that morning I was trying to get back to the person who sold it to me.
Right. Are you asking the prosecutor to at least dismiss one of the moving violations because of the mechanical problem?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you willing to do that, Mr. Taylor?
Yes, Your Honor. I would be willing to dismiss the lane change. However, too fast for conditions, states will go forward with that charge.
Okay. So then you want to do the NOLO just on too fast for conditions and pay around $80 to Ms. Murphy? Is that right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Tell us or type in your chat, into the chat, the email address so the clerk can know you payment info.
Okay.
Are you typing it in there?
I did. Yes, ma'am. It's MAY.
Your audio is kind of breaking up. Who did you send it to? The state court traffic clerk? Did you send the email to the state court traffic clerk? Because your audio is kind of weirding out on us. As a matter of fact, I think we just totally lost you. All right. Well, we can snail mail that to her, Ms. Jeffers, if we don't get the email from her at some point.
Okay.
All right. Alante O'Bannon present. Oh, here she's back. Miss Murphy.
There, I heard. I can hear you now. Can you hear me now?
I hear you. What's your email?
MAYNE.MURPHY@gmail.com.
Okay. Okay, the clerk has it then. Look for an email with those payment instructions later on this morning, Miss.
Thank you.
All right, you can sign off.
Okay, thank you. Have a good day.
Thanks. Chioma Opendaye. Wilfredo Ortega.
I think you skipped me, Your Honor. Alante O'Bannon.
Well, I don't know why I did that. You're right. Mr. O'Bannon, you have speeding and improper display of tag. You have a valid tag now, or it's properly displayed on your car?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr.
Yes,
Taylor,
ma'am.
you have a recommendation?
Your Honor, what was the speeding? Can you see it? Tell me what the speeding rate was?
I'll look, let me see. Allegation is, I don't have it. Here it is. 80 and a 65.
That would be a $100 fine, Your Honor.
Do you want to resolve that speeding ticket with guilty or no load today, sir? And then it's about 150 with surcharges and he'll dismiss the tag?
I'll plead guilty. So does that mean with the ticket, I paid $80-$90 for the speeding and for the improper display of tag? I paid that this morning. So does that mean
did you pay all that online this morning?
Yes, ma'am. I got a receipt for one of them. I want to say that's the speeding. That was the first one I paid for. And then I paid for the second one, the improper display of tag. And I haven't got the receipt from that yet. So I'm sure it would come in on Monday.
I can check to see if we've accepted them yet. We might be able to reject them, Judge.
Would I get an email from that to see if you rejected it?
Let her check, Mr. O'Bannon, and because there's a second step, even when you pay, the clerk has to accept the funds. So if they haven't done that, then we can reject those two payments so that the dismissal of the tag can happen, and then the other thing.
Yeah, we haven't. I'm sorry, Judge. We haven't accepted these yet, so I can go ahead and reject these for him. That way, the dismissal can go through.
And Your Honor, speeding violation, if the fine that he paid online is less than the amount today, the state would be willing to accept the lesser fine as the recommended sentence.
Okay. All right. So why don't we just do that then on the speeding? We'll accept that payment, Ms. Jeffers, and on the tag, though, we'll reject that payment, Mr. O'Bannon, and that one will get dismissed. So you won't owe us any further money. Any questions about all that then?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Take care. Bye now.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Eric Page. Justin Pendleton. Derek Pickett. Willie Pickett. That may be Jerome Pickett on Zoom. Mr. Pickett. Jacqueline Poindexter. Daryl Porter.
Poindexter is here.
Oh, Ms. Poindexter, you had tickets from December of 2020, improper lane change and failing to register a vehicle. Was that vehicle that you were apparently driving on that date owned by you?
Yes,
And does it have a valid registration and tag now?
it did before I switched cars, yes.
Okay. And so what is the state asking on the
For the,
improper lane change, Mr. Taylor?
The state would recommend a $50 fine, Your Honor.
And are you willing to dismiss the tag thing if she resolves the improper lane change today?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you want to plead guilty or nolo to just the improper lane change today, Ms. Poindexter? And you'd owe about $80 to the clerk.
That's fine.
Which one, guilty or nolo?
Guilty.
All right. Would you tell us or type in your email address so we can email you the payment instructions?
Okay. It's poindexterjacqueline@gmail.
So you're going to get an email from our clerk at an address at claytoncountyga.gov. So look out for that. Sometimes it goes into the spam or junk folder.
Okay.
And it'll tell you how to pay that online or in person, and the exact amount that will be due by April 25th. We must have a correct address for you, I guess, since you got the notice to come to court today.
Correct.
And the tag thing's dismissed. Any questions?
No, thank you.
All right, bye now. Daryl Porter. Donald Primos. Jonathan Pugh.
I'm here, Your Honor.
Mr. Pugh, you had falling too close and tag violations January of 2021. Got a good tag on your car now?
Yes, Your Honor.
Recommendation, Mr. Taylor, on the falling too close.
That would be a $50 fine, Your Honor.
Do you want to resolve that with a guilty or nolo plea today, sir?
I was in a CDL vehicle, and the person that what happened, they cut me off. I was in dead stop traffic, like we were slowly rolling, and I just barely bumped them. And as a result, the driver that I bumped, they ended up getting a possession charge, and I believe a DUI. So I don't know. I would
Are
like
you a CDL driver?
Yes.
I mean, you have a CDL license.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Well, I mean, you know then that even a nolo has some consequences on your license. If you want to plead not guilty, and then we'll put it on a trial calendar someday. This is Judge Garrett's case, and I don't think he's scheduling these right now.
Okay.
Then we'll see if the other person even shows up. Maybe
Okay.
a little late.
I'd like to plead not guilty then.
Right. I don't blame you. All right. So we're going to enter that not guilty plea on the docket. And the only obligation you have right now while you're waiting for a court date is to make sure our clerk always has a valid address for you. We have a weird street address. What's your actual address where notices should be mailed to you?
It's 5895 PWA Drive. It stands for private water access.
Oh, so that's really initial. So PWA Drive, incoming 30041.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to try to make that into a word.
Yeah.
Quad Drive. Thanks, Mr. Pugh. As I say, I have no idea when Judge Garrett's going to schedule these. So just keep an eye out. If your address changes, you have to let our clerk know that. There is a form online to update your address if your address changes.
All righty. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Nicholas Randolph. Devisha Rivera.
Nicholas
Are you
here.
Mr. Randolph?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Randolph, you had in December tag violation and license not on person. Do you have, and then you got another tag ticket in 2022. So, I mean,
It's for the same thing, correct? It's for the same thing, correct?
Yeah, I don't know. It's another tag ticket. Is that the same car?
Yes, ma'am. But I got the registration and everything legit now.
Okay. You happen to have your tag receipt with you?
I had a valid license. He just put on my driver license number, but I have a valid ID. I have a valid license.
You have a license or an ID?
I have a license, but he put on my I think it's the ID number, but I have a valid one, but I
You
just
have your
the
license
physical
with
copy
you by
on me.
chance?
Do I have my
You have
license
your
on me?
license with you?
Yeah.
do you mind just holding
ma'am.
that to the camera so that the prosecutor can just take a look and make sure it's a good license right now? And
I have a legit one through email. I have it through email. I have it through email through the drivers association, the driver service. I have it through there.
Okay, so you just get a driver's license, and so they've given you a temporary one?
Yes, it's a paper copy, but that's inside my car. But I have a legit license. He put up my driver license number, and that's all he did. But like, I didn't get arrested or anything because my license is legit.
Yeah, I see that it's just license, not on person. All right, do you have the tag receipt with you by chance to show the prosecutor that the tag's now been issued properly?
I don't have the information because it's actually my mom's car. It's my mom's car, but I know for a fact she got everything legit. Like she got, cause her birthday had passed, but yes, ma'am.
Okay. Well, I think that the dilemma is that we've got 2 of these tag tickets on the same car, so he may not be willing to dismiss both of them, but let me hear from Mr. Taylor.
Your Honor, that's right. I'd be willing to dismiss one of the expired or no tag, but unless there's proof of a valid tag, either by registration or a picture of the tag showing a valid tag on the car, the state would move to go forward, or the state would go forward with the second tag violation. And that would be it's a mandatory $100 fine.
For invalid tag?
Yeah.
For expired invalid tag, yes, Your Honor.
Oh, that's news to
Unless
me.
that rate has changed recently.
I don't think that's reasonable.
What did you
I
say,
don't think that's
Mr.
reasonable.
Randolph?
I do apologize. I said I don't think that's reasonable because I do have the paperwork, but if I have to take a little couple extra minutes to get it to you, but I don't think that's reasonable.
Well, he thinks that might be what the statute requires. I'm not sure of that. I'm gonna look.
I believe that's 40-2-8, Your Honor.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up.
Okay.
Wow. Okay, then. Thanks. Mr. Randolph, if you want to go get the paperwork to show that the car's got a valid tag, I can pause on your case and talk to some other folks and come back to you. Do you want to do that?
Yeah, I could more definitely get you the information. Like how long would you give me? 'Cause I could just get my mom probably just to send it over through text message or something. Like how long I have? About like less than 5 minutes.
I've got about 10 other people to talk to, and I can come back to you at the end of the calendar if you want to try to find it.
Okay, well, I'll come back in probably about less than 5 minutes, okay?
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Pickett, did you figure out how to talk to us? He signed on and went to sleep. Davisha Rivera.
Yes, I'm here.
Hey, Miss Rivera, speeding ticket and a tag violation. Got a good tag now on your car?
Yes.
Recommendation, Mr. Taylor?
Well, the speeding violation would be a $50 fine. And the state would move to dismiss the tag violation for a plea to the speeding ticket.
Do you want to plead guilty or no to speeding, Miss Rivera, today?
I'll do no.
Would you either state or type in your email address for us so we can email you the payment instruction information?
Yes, I'll type it in.
All righty.
It's in the chat box.
Okay, great. So you'll get an email from the clerk later on this morning. It will be from an address at claytoncountyga.gov. If you don't get it by the end of the day, check your spam folder. It'll have the payment instructions on how to pay that online or in person by April 25th. It's actually going to be somewhere around $80. The exact amount will be on that paperwork. The tag ticket's dismissed. We must have a good address for you since you got the notice to come to court today, Ms. Rivera.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have questions of me?
No, ma'am, not at the moment.
All right, you're welcome to sign off, ma'am.
All right, have a great day.
Thank you. Arlinda Robinson. Willem Rock. Myron Russell.
I'm present, Your Honor.
Mr. Russell, you have speeding, improper lane change, and following too close tickets from February 8th of 2021. Was this an accident with another vehicle, Mr. Russell?
No, ma'am. I was just heading to work.
Okay.
But there was no collision, no accident.
Well, that's
the
good.
driver in front of me had done something reckless and had stopped prematurely with a good flow of traffic, and I had to adjust to keep from making.
Okay.
And pull me over.
There's actually also, I think there's also a tag ticket that somehow didn't make it on our calendar. You got a good tag on the car now?
Not at the moment, but I have parked the vehicle, stopped using it, and I've been getting lifts to work and rides home from work until I could, because I just got a new job. Sorry, I failed to mention that I had lost my job and I got a new job. So I've been getting lifts to work for the new job and was trying to get the money up to get the tag handled on the vehicle.
All right. All right. We're given all that information. Where do you stand, Mr. Taylor?
Your Honor, on the speeding charge, it's a $50 fine. I will dismiss the lane change charge and the follow too close. On the 100, the state would still proceed forward with a $100 fine.
On the tag, you mean?
Yes, Your
Okay.
Honor.
Do you want to plead guilty or nolo to just the speeding and tag violations then today, Mr. Russell?
Yes.
And you'd be looking at around 80 for speeding and 150-ish for tag?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay, and the other two then will be dismissed. What is your email, if you can tell us, or type it in the chat area?
I can tell you, Your Honor.
Okay, what is it?
This is all lowercase. M as well, I'll just say it.
Yeah, just say it.
MJAMAHLR at rocketmail.com.
Okay, say the part before at Rocketmail.
I'm sorry, it was a MJAMAHLR at rocketmail.com.
Okay, great. So look for an email then later on today or this morning with the payment instruction information to pay it online or in person on or before April 25th. And the exact amount will be on that. And I just want to make sure we must have a proper address for you on Amber Chase Drive since you got the notice to come today, right, Mr.
Yes,
Russell?
ma'am, that's me.
Any questions of me?
No, ma'am.
All right, look for that email. It's from an address at claytoncountyga.gov and check your spam folder if you don't get it by the end of the day.
Understood, Your Honor.
All right, bye now.
All righty, you have a great one.
Thanks. Mamadou Sanyang.
Yeah, Your Honor.
Sir, you just had a tag ticket in January of 21. Is that whatever was going on with that tag now been corrected?
Yes, ma'am. It is a rental, and I've since returned it.
You don't even have that car anymore, is what you're saying?
No, ma'am.
You have a different car, Mr. Sanyang?
Yeah, my own personal. That was the rental vehicle from Enterprise.
Oh, I see. Your car has a good tag, though.
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Mr. Taylor?
The state would move to dismiss that charge.
I'll dismiss it, sir. And if you need a copy of that dismissal order, you can get it from our clerk at some point, okay?
Yes, ma'am. I would, because I have notice from DDS with with a
Oh, you want to
suspension.
type in your email then so that we can email you a copy of it so you can get that to DDS to clear it.
Okay, thank you. I will do that right now.
All right. Okay. Once you've got that in the chat area, you can sign off, sir.
All right,
James, by now. James Schollard. Damian Sharp. Antonio Simpson. I mean, he's got 4 sets of tickets for a total of 12 tickets. I hate to create a whole lot of extra work here, but I wonder if the state would like for those to be transferred to the solicitor's office and accuse them. Because honestly,
with 12 tickets, I think that would be appropriate.
at some point, his just ignoring all of this is not pretty. Of course, his license will get suspended for failure to appear. Maybe that's enough aggravation. What do you think, Mr. Taylor?
Well,
give it some thought. If you want her to send them up, you can email the clerk, the traffic clerk, and let them know.
I'll notify them.
All right, Travion Simpson. Aisha Sims.
Yes, I'm here.
Ms. Sims, you have license not on person and a tag violation from January of 21. Do you have a valid tag?
No, ma'am. I'm currently not even using that vehicle anymore.
Okay. You using a different vehicle?
Yes, ma'am. I use like Uber sometimes, and then my mother, if she's not at work, I use her car from time to time.
Okay. And you have a license, you just allegedly didn't have it with you that day.
Yes, ma'am. I have it here. Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. Well, what do you want to do, Mr. Taylor?
Ms. Sims, do you still own the vehicle?
The vehicle, I'm no longer using it. Yes, I still have everything for it, but I'm no longer using the vehicle. I'm no longer using it. I use my mother's car. The car also has work that needs to be done on it, and I'm not sure it's safe for driving. So I'm not even using the vehicle anymore.
The state would move to dismiss both tickets, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Sims, just a heads up, if you still have that vehicle, it has to be, if it's not tagged, and even though you're not driving it, there's a county ordinance that says that the vehicle either has to be covered in a driveway or if it's it can be in a garage uncovered, but it can't just be sitting in a driveway, not tagged and not covered. I don't make that law up. I'm just letting you know that statute, that county ordinance exists so that the county ordinance people don't drive by and give you a citation for that. Okay.
Okay, yes, ma'am. I could pull it into the garage. I can do that. It's just sitting outside. I could pull it in.
Yeah, you might want to, but he'll dismiss these two. And if you ever need a copy of this dismissal, you can get that from our clerk. Any questions?
No, ma'am. Thank you so much.
All right. Bye. Columbus Siplin. Christopher Smith. Ebony Smith. Edwin Smith. Eugene Stanley. Junior Stewart.
Junior Stewart here.
Mr. Stewart, you had a tag violation and passing an emergency vehicle without moving over or slowing, allegedly, in January of 2021. Do you have questions of him about either of those, Mr. Taylor?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Stewart, do you have a valid tag on your vehicle now?
Yes. Yes.
The state would move to dismiss the tag charge for a plea to the passing an emergency vehicle. The recommended sentence for that, or the recommended fine, would be $50.
Okay. Can I talk now?
What do you want to tell him?
When I was driving down Highway 138, it was heavy traffic to the left of me, preventing me from moving over to that left lane. It was raining, it was dark, and I was following the GPS to go to the BF lounge that the emergency vehicles, which was 2 police cars, they had pulled a car over. They were sitting inside of the entrance for the BF lounge, and I was following that lane of traffic to enter the BF lounge where I was going to get some food for my pregnant girlfriend at the time. And the cars to the left of me was preventing me from getting over. So I slowed down while signaling to show that I was going to that lounge, which they had blocked off where they had the car pulled over at. And when I pulled into the establishment, the cop then pulled in behind me, and I was unaware that I was being pulled over. He's like, "Oh, you didn't move over. Did you not see us in the lane?" I was like, "I'm going to this establishment." And then he was like, "Where's your license?"
We get the gist of it, Mr. Stewart.
Okay, yeah. He didn't ask me for my license.
Obviously
he was profiling me based. Okay.
Hang on. Obviously, the sheriff deputy isn't here today, although just so that you see, Mr. Taylor, it is the sheriff's department. And so we can't, he can't make decisions just based on hearing one side of a case normally. But do you want to proceed with it, given that information, Mr. Taylor, or what would you?
Yes, Your Honor. Just officer safety.
So we
if
don't
the
know.
officer felt that there was a situation, if Mr. Stewart wishes to enter not guilty, then it will be not guilty on both citations.
Right.
But if he wishes to enter a plea, then the tag would be dismissed.
Mr. Stewart, I mean, you're welcome to plead not guilty, and then it'll go on a trial calendar someday. This is Judge Garrett's case, so he's not scheduling these right now. I don't know when he'll schedule it, if ever. But at the trial, then the state would subpoena the officer. If he shows up, then he can tell his side of what he contends happened, and you can tell your side. So that's one option. The other is to plead nolo to it and close it out, but it's up to you.
Okay. Well, I'm a CDL driver. And
oh Lord, you don't need to read that then.
I don't want to do none of that. So
you don't live in New York, do you?
No. And that's where the notice was sent to. So I need an updated address for that.
Yeah. So go on to the ClaytonCountyGA.gov website and navigate to the clerk state court page. There's a form there to fill out to update your current address, because they're going to mail you a notice whenever this does get scheduled by Judge Garrett to come to court.
Can you guys email me a link to that?
No.
Or,
come on, man. Go on. It's not that hard. You're young. You can navigate the internet.
Okay. So you said
ClaytonCountyGA.gov, clerk state court, and you'll see the forms link.
Okay.
So update your address on there, okay?
All right.
All right. Bye, Mr. Stewart.
Bye.
Demisha Stoddard. Casey Stroud. Kenneth Tate. Colise Terry.
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, goodness. Miss Terry, the case on the calendar today is from 2020. It was a tag and failing to update your address. And then mid-January, you got another tag ticket.
And then I have two for April as well.
Yeah.
Yes. They were all given to me by the same officer. He's a police officer that does, my apartment complex offers
Oh,
Clayton County officers like, I guess, an extra shift if they want to do security for our apartment complex. And he's the officer that does security in my complex. He actually told me when he wrote me the first ticket that he ran my tags the night before. He pulled me over and saw
okay,
that they were not registered.
okay. But even after all that, you still had an issue with the tag and the address in April. Is that correct?
Well, I actually did change my address. I have both of the confirmation emails from Georgia DDS confirming that my address was changed. Both times, I don't know why it reverted in the system back. I actually contacted Georgia DDS and they told me that I would have to physically come in to a DMV and to physically change my address that way since it wasn't working online. But I do have both the confirmation emails showing that I changed my address both times.
Since April of 2021, about a year ago though, have you gone and now got it corrected?
My address, yes. I'm still waiting for my my license to come in the mail.
Okay. And what about the tag? Now you have
That
a valid tag on the car, or what's up with that?
that car is no longer in service, so it's no longer registered. I have it covered in my apartment complex because it does not have a registered tag on it.
Do you drive a different car now?
No, I don't drive anymore. I take MARTA because I don't have money for a car.
Got it. Well, what do you think, Mr. Taylor?
Your Honor, I'm not concerned about the driver's license address. Ms. Terry, what are your plans for the car?
My plans for the car are to pay it off and just get it fixed whenever I can, if it's possible. But as of now, I just got a new job working for Apple. So I'm at the point where I'm just trying to get my first check. But as of now, the car is out of service. Like I physically can't drive it without hurting myself or possibly other people. So it has been covered sitting in my apartment complex for the past year.
Okay.
It needs some repairs is what you're saying.
Yes, it needs about over $3,000 worth of repairs in order for it to be drivable as well as pass emissions test.
Well, given those circumstances, I would just say do not operate the vehicle without a valid tag. But at this time,
I physically cannot move the car. Like if I were to try to move it, I couldn't do that.
All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
The state moves to dismiss these charges against Ms. Terry.
Okay. I'll go ahead and dismiss all of it then, Ms. Terry, and you keep that car covered up, obviously, until you can get it operating or junk it. And if you need copies of the dismissal, then you can get that from the clerk of the state court. Any questions?
How would I go about attaining a copy of the dismissal?
You can get that from the clerk of the state court here at the courthouse.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right, good luck. Take care.
You all have a good rest of your day.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Frederick Thompson, present. Robert Tolbert. Labricia Turner. Vivian Vasquez.
Yes.
Ms. Vasquez, you had a tag and brake light ticket in December 2020. The tag valid on your car now and the brake lights fixed?
The tags never was bad. My brake light I got fixed the same day.
And currently you have a valid tag on your car?
Yes, I do, ma'am.
Okay. Mr. Taylor?
The state will ask to dismiss both charges.
Ms. Vasquez, I'll dismiss those tickets. If you need a copy of the dismissal, you can get it from the clerk of the state court here at the courthouse. Any questions?
No, Your Honor. Thank you very much and enjoy your day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
You know, I kept mentioning Mr. Pickett, and I remember now early on there was a chat message from someone, Mr. Tipton or Mr. Taylor. It says,
Yes, ma'am. Were you speaking about Jerome Pickett?
yeah,
Mrs.
there was a
Tipton?
chat message saying that he was having some technical difficulties, but his daughter's here. And I don't know
Yes,
what
ma'am.
hardship reduction means, but let's see if we can figure out what to do with these tickets. So this is.
Yes, ma'am. I am on here now. My name is Janika Duncan. My dad is in Georgia, and unfortunately, by him being a little older, he was unfamiliar with how to launch this Zoom. He had the right steps,
Yeah,
but I
just let
figured
me
he
ask
was
some
wrong.
questions. Maybe we can resolve it without a big deal. Is
Okay.
for invalid tag and failing to update the address on his license. Do you know if he has
Yes.
a valid tag and a proper address on his driver's license now?
Yes, ma'am. He does.
Mr. Taylor or
Yes,
Mr.
Your
Tipton?
Honor, I'll say would dismiss both charges.
Oh, it's P. P is your part of the alphabet. Okay.
Yeah.
Ma'am, you'll go ahead and dismiss it then, since that's now been resolved if it was invalid at the time.
Yes, and you guys have the correct address because he was notified in regards to this court date.
Okay, we'll dismiss in the tickets. Thank you.
Thank you. You have a good day.
Thank you. Bye now. Frederick Thompson. Robert Tolbert. Labressia Turner. Oh, I went backward, didn't I? Nigel Veal.
Miguel, good morning. Good afternoon now.
Oh, okay. Mr. Veal, you had improper display of tag and improper turn on a red light. State's recommendation, or do you have questions of him, Mr.?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Veal,
Yes, sir, Mr. Taylor.
how is your tag displayed in its proper location on the car now?
Yes, sir. It was a commercial vehicle. You know how they had the temporary plate, the paper when it was up in the window, and but yes, it's the hard plate now.
Then the state would move to dismiss the improper tag display. It would be a $50 fine for the improper turn on the red light.
Do you want to resolve that with guilty or nolo today, Mr. Veal?
May I address Mr. Taylor for 1 second, Your Honor?
Yes.
Okay, it was a commercial vehicle. I'm a Class A CDL driver, and it was a 2-lane road. I had my turning signal on. I took my surroundings into account as I made the turn when it was safe to do so. And I got as close as I could to the right curve because I was making the right turn, but it's
Mr. Veal, one moment.
Yes.
Were you in a left 2 lanes to turn right and you were a little further to the left than you would be in a normal car?
Yes, I was making correct.
I understand the situation.
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, the state would move to dismiss that charge as well.
Okay. We'll dismiss them both then, Mr. Veal. If you need a copy of the dismissal, you can get that from the clerk of the state court. Do you have any questions?
No, I just want to thank both of you guys and have a blessed day.
You too. Take care, sir.
Thank you.
Demetrius Walker. Jamon Walker.
How you doing?
Demetrius Walker's here. I'm sorry,
my bad.
Okay. I'll come right back to you then, Mr. Jamon Walker. Mr. Demetrius Walker, you had expired license and tag tickets in December of 2020. You have a valid current license and tag now?
Yes, ma'am. In Caida County, ma'am, it was right when the epidemic started with the corona and things, and you had to make appointments to update your license and everything.
Right, but it's good now, right?
Yes, ma'am. I had got it. My appointment was like 2 or 3 days after the day that they had did it, but
Okay,
everything was updated. The
Okay.
tag, my license. But I no longer have the vehicle anyway.
okay. What do you say, Mr. Taylor?
I'm sorry, what was the second charge for Mr. Walker?
Expired license. He has his license corrected now.
Yeah, the state would dismiss that charge.
And the tag, he's got a tag now.
Oh, tag and license. Yes, if both the valid tag and license are valid, the state would ask to dismiss both.
All right, I'll dismiss them, Mr. Walker, then. If you need copies of the dismissals, you can get it from the clerk, okay?
All right. Thank you, Mr. Taylor and Ms. Kohler.
All right,
Yes,
bye
ma'am.
now. Mr. Jamon Walker, you have 2 tickets for improper display of tag and invalid tag. Do you have a valid tag on the vehicle properly
Yes.
displayed?
Yes.
Any other questions of him about that, Mr. Taylor?
Yes, Mr. Walker, as your tag, what was the issue with the invalid display?
Well, it was during the pandemic, and that was it. I hadn't had a chance to go and get that tag. And
I
was
understand
driving-
about that matter, but how was your tag displayed when the
Oh,
officer looked at something?
I had a paper tag on the back of it, just saying tag applied.
And you currently have a valid tag?
Yes.
The state will move to dismiss both charges, Your Honor.
All
Thank
right.
you.
All right, if you need a copy of that dismissal, you can get it from our clerk, Mr. Walker. Any questions?
No, ma'am. May I
All right,
leave?
bye. Yep,
All
bye.
right. Bye.
Emmanuel Walton. Devin Ware. Felix Weller.
Here.
Mr. Weller, you had in February of 2021, brake lights, defective equipment, improper display of tag. And I think there's a speeding that is not somehow on the calendar.
There shouldn't be any speeding.
Okay, maybe I looked at it wrong. Let me pull it up again, Mr. Weller.
All right.
Oh, no, that was an old case. All right, so from February, you had brake lights, defective equipment, and improper display of tag. Did you have some kind of cover on the tag?
Yeah, I had like a little tint feature on my tag.
And you've taken that off?
Yes, ma'am. I actually don't even have that car anymore. My transmission went out on that car.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so any other questions about those tickets, Mr. Taylor of Mr. Weller?
No, Your Honor. Since he no longer has the vehicle, you can't really correct the item, so state will ask to dismiss the charges on that.
All right, Mr. Weller, then March of 2021, these aren't on the calendar, but since you're here, let's talk about them. You had a seatbelt and a tent violation. Did the
A seatbelt, a tent?
Yeah, in March of 2021.
March 2021.
That
Okay.
same car had a tent on it? On the windows?
No, that's the same. That was the same car, but no,
That's
I
what
don't
I'm
even have the
asking.
car
Did it
anymore.
have a tent?
Yeah, not dark. It's not the dark tint. It's not 5%. It's like when I got the tents made, I asked the guy just make sure I get legal tint, and it was legal. It should have been legal.
But you don't have that, the car you don't have anymore.
No, ma'am. No, I can go outside and show you my truck right now if you need it.
No, that I don't care. What do
Okay.
you want to do, Mr. Taylor?
Proceed with a seatbelt, $15 fine.
All right. Do you want to plead guilty or no load to seatbelts? $15 fine for that.
I can't get a ticket. I mean, I can't get any points for a seatbelt, right?
I don't think that's a moving violation.
Okay, yeah, I'll
Right.
go ahead. I'll pay it. Guilty.
All right. Would you please tell us, or you can type into the chat area your email so we can email you the payment instruction info on the seatbelt?
Yeah, I'm typing it right now. I typed it in.
Great. All right. You'll get an email from our clerk today that says how to pay that $15 online or in person by April 25th. Any question? Everything else is dismissed.
Okay.
Any questions?
Okay, thank you. No, ma'am, I
bye.
appreciate it.
All right. Bye, Mr. Weller.
All right.
Haywa or Hawa Williams. Brittany Wood. Tavion Wright. There's someone signed on as Brittany.
I'm sorry,
Are
ma'am.
you Ms. Wood?
Brittany Wood is here. I'm sorry.
Okay. Ms. Wood, you had tickets in January for a tag violation of 2021. Tag violation, driver's vision obstructed.
Yes, it wasn't my vehicle.
Okay. How did you know the person whose car it is?
It was one of my ex-girlfriends or female I was dealing with.
Okay. So you may not have known about the tag, but was there a crack in the windshield?
Yes, it was a very small crack on the driver's side of the windshield.
Okay.
Like a little rock had, like a little pebble had hit it.
Okay. Okay. Any other questions of her about any of that information, Mr. Taylor? Or
Ms. Woods,
recommendations?
do you have occasion to drive that same vehicle any longer?
No, I never drove it ever since then. I'm no longer even dealing with her.
They broke up.
About the ticket.
Oh my.
Well, yes, certainly the state will move to dismiss those charges, Your Honor.
All right. I'll dismiss those, Ms. Wood. If you ever need a copy of that dismissal, you can get it from our clerk. Any questions?
No, ma'am.
Bye now.
Thank you so much, Honor.
Tavion Wright. Toya Wynn. Leonardo Zarate. Maybe that's Leo.
Yes, hello.
Hi. Sir, you have tag violation, learners, license violation. Actually, there's, I think, also license not on person that somehow didn't make it to the calendar, Mr. Taylor, and improper lane change. So do you have any questions of Mr. Zarate?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Zarate, is your driver's license, is it still a learner's permit, or do you have a full driver's license, Class C license now?
At the moment, it's still a permit, but I no longer drive the vehicle. I ended up quitting the job where I had to drive away from home. The car that was driven that day is just sitting in my garage at the moment. I do have an appointment set up for a week and a half from now to get my full license. I've pushed it off for far too long, but will be taken care of in that time.
Okay. And Your Honor, the other charges?
Improper lane change, tag violation.
On the tag violation, the state would move to dismiss if for a plea to the lane change. The lane change would be a $50 fine. And Your Honor, on the driving on invalid permit or
Violating the permit.
Yeah.
Violating the permit. The state would, I would suggest that the fine be suspended, a $50 suspended fine.
Thank you.
Do you want to resolve then the lane change and learner's license violation tickets with either guilty or no low pleas today, sir?
With the improper lane change, I was kind of confused on that because when the officer pulled me over, I was on the back road of, I'm not sure how to describe a road, but it was basically just a two-way street. Basically, you were just going away and towards the highway. And there was no way I could have changed the lane, especially from where I was pulled over from. And she just had the presumption I was drunk the whole time. And I was just like, no,
Are
man.
you saying that the lane didn't have lane markers? I mean, the road you were on did not have lane markers in it? Like no white lines? Or what are you saying about
it was
the lane?
basically, it was like a two-way street only, and there was like no way for me to like have a change of lane and I don't understand if you're saying failure to maintain lane, but that wasn't the
Yeah.
case.
It's the Upper Riverdale Road. I mean, that's a multi-lane road, right?
It was on the back road, though. It was like when I was pulled over, it was the back road of that area.
I don't
Your
know.
Honor, if Mr. Zarate wishes to enter not guilty plea, the state would go forward with all 3 charges. If he wishes to enter a guilty or no low plea to the lane change violation and a $50 fine, that's our recommended fine for that charge.
Yeah, I mean, Mr. Zarate, obviously the officer isn't here, so we don't know what they would say. So he can't
Yes, that's fine.
dismiss it
I
based
understand.
on part of the story. So
I understand. Actually, it's fine. I'll just go ahead and pay the reduced fine or however he explained it. I'm sorry.
okay. Do you want to do a no low plea, which means you're not contesting the ticket but not admitting it that you're guilty of it?
Yes, please, Nolo.
All right. Would you tell us or type in your email so we can email you some payment instructions?
Yes, ma'am. Leonardo. Oh, actually, I can type it in the chat. I'm sorry.
That's fine too.
And who am I sending it to?
You can send it to State Court Traffic Clerk.
I see State Court Traffic Division. Is that?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Leonardo G. Sorry. LeonardoGZarate@gmail.com. And do you need my address as well, or just the email?
Well, we have an address on River Run Road. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. That's correct.
Okay. All right. You'll get an email today then from the clerk with the payment instruction information. And it's a $50 fine plus surcharges on improper lane change. I suspended the fine on violating the conditions of the learner's permit, and the other 2 are dismissed.
Your Honor, I'd like to remind Mr. Zarate that as long as he's driving on the learner's permit, he is required to have a licensed driver as a passenger in the vehicle. He can't drive it alone.
Yes, I understood. I no longer drive like that since I have the same job as my brother. My brother just takes his car to and from work. So, but I am getting my license resolved in about a week and a half from now. But thank you, sir, for the reduced or not sure how to really say it. I keep forgetting the words, but
that's okay. All right. Take care, Mr. Zarate. Be safe.
You as well. Thank you.
All right. There's a person signed on here. It just has a bunch of letters and numbers. Z5156CC. Do you want to unmute and tell me who you are?
Your Honor, my name's Kevin Conover.
Mr. Conover, you have an old case from 1989 that I guess you're trying to clear for tag violation and no insurance. This was before we started doing these in the other division, gentlemen. You have questions of him, Mr. Tipton?
Your Honor, as old as this case is, I assume he's had a valid tag or valid insurance. I'm going to move for the state to I'm going to move for a dismissal.
Mr. Conover, type in your email in the chat area because you probably have a failure to appear suspension for these, and you need a copy.
Yes, ma'am.
You need a copy of the order to dismiss because
do you need me to type it or can I say it?
Whichever way you want to do it.
All right, it's K Conover 0209 at AOL.com.
Now, just heads up, even though we're dismissing these and you won't owe the court a fine, in order to get the failure to appear released, you probably going to owe DDS some money. But you take the copies or you'll get the copies of the dismissals that'll show the case is closed now, and you can deal with them about that.
Okay.
All right. Bye now. Oh, wait a
Really
minute,
quick,
sir.
I just wanted to let the defendant know that I believe release forms are going to be needed for at least one of these old tickets, and those we have to mail.
you can't email it to him. You're gonna mail it to him.
We have to mail those.
Okay. So what's your address, Mr. Conover, just to make sure she has to mail you some paperwork?
Yes, ma'am. It's 6374 Footprint Drive, Pensacola, Florida, 32526.
Okay. So don't approach Georgia DDS till you get your paperwork. And then you'll have to probably pay them some money. And they'll clear the failure tip here. And whatever extent that's impacting your license in Florida, that is a separate thing you have to deal with your driver's license service on.
Yes, ma'am. I've already been there. They said that once it's cleared, I can renew my license.
Okay. All right. Good luck with all that.
All right.
All right. Bye now.
Thank you.
Your Honor, I looked up the date from this ticket. The ticket's older than me.
Oh my God. Wow. That's all I know to say. Wow.
But Mr. Tipton's a baby, so it's not that old.
Look,
Like
look, the real horror of that is I finished law school in 85 before you were born. So, oh well, just glad to wake up every morning. Oh, have a good weekend.
Thank you, Jim.